Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I'm going to give my review of Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reid. This book is the follow-up to the first book in the series, Game Changers, which I read previously this year and liked a lot. This book starts in 2016 with the Boston Bears playing the Montreal Voyageurs in Montreal. Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov are the two best players in the National Hockey League. Hollander plays for Montreal and Rozanov plays for Boston. The two teams have a near century-long rivalry. Hollander and Rozanov are known to hate one another. Rozanov is an all-world trash talker. He does back it up with his play, though. In this particular game, Boston beats Montreal handily. After the game, Rozanov meets Hollander at Hollander's condominium for a very steamy hookup. The story then goes back to December 2008. The World Junior Championships are taking place in Canada. Hollander is the best player on the Canadian team and Rozanov is the best player on the Russian team. They're projected to be the top two players selected in the upcoming NHL draft. They talk briefly and there's a mutual dislike between them. The story then goes to Los Angeles in June 2009, where the NHL draft is taking place. After the draft, Rozanov and Hollander happen to meet up in a deserted hotel gym. Shane feels an attraction to Ilya. This is a problem for him because he doesn't want to be attracted to men. He doesn't want to be gay. A little later in the story, we see that the attraction is mutual. Because of this mutual attraction, Shane and Ilya start a series of occasional hookups. They need to keep their relationship secret for several reasons. Shane doesn't want to be known as gay. It takes a while for him to accept that he in fact is, while into the story. Ilya can't be known as anything but straight because Russia is a country that is strongly against queer people. It could actually be dangerous for it to be known that he's bisexual. Another reason they don't want the relationship to be known is that for years the NHL has built up their on-ice rivalry and mutual dislike, and it wouldn't look good if it appeared to be manufactured. Another reason is that no former or current NHL player has ever come out as queer, and the reaction to one or two of them doing so is uncertain. There is a lot of spice in this book, and it is very graphic. It is very graphic. I didn't find it boring like I find it in a lot of books, though. There is some homophobia and sexism in the book. I love this book, both the relationship between Shane and Ilya and the hockey parts of it. This is a very readable book. I rated it 5 stars. I talked about this when I reviewed Game Changers, but I'll mention here too that I've heard a lot of people talk about sports romances, and they'll say they love the book, but they'll admit that they'll say they love the book, but they'll say they're not actually a fan of the sport. So Game Changers and Heated Rivalry are the first sports romances I've read, and I was interested to see if I thought the descriptions of the sport were good, and I found in the first book and in this book too, I thought they were really good. The author is a fan, so it's not surprising, but it was just something I was looking toward because a lot of the reviewers of sports romances, they don't have the experience with the sport to actually comment on that. The ones I've read, I'm sure some do, but the ones I've seen, they're not necessarily fans of the sport. And although I actually haven't kept up on hockey from 1975 to 1997, there was a national hockey team in Hartford called the Hartford Whalers. And my aunts, my sister, and myself did go to a lot of games. So I was a fan at that time. I no longer am, but just want to say I do have some background in the sport. Not current, but I did. I was a big fan at one point. I also want to mention too that although it's not necessary to read Game Changers before reading this book does reveal a very important plot point that occurs in Game Changers. So unless you really don't mind spoilers, I recommend reading Game Changers first. This is a very readable book. I rated it 5 stars. I'll definitely be continuing on with the series. I would be interested if you've ever read this book. If so, what your thoughts were, or if you read sports romances and what you think of them. If you'd like to let me know, please add a comment. If you can't think of anything you'd like to comment, please add an emoji, perhaps a hockey stick emoji, or an emoji of your choice. I hope you're having a wonderful reading week. I hope you're having a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe. Please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.